We came to Phnom Penh because Phnom Penh is really ground zero in the illegal sex industry and the human trafficking problem, also as well as the illegal trade of animal and animal parts. This is the red light district in Phnom Penh. By day, it doesn't look like much. It's an active thoroughfare. There are small shops and businesses here, small factories. At night, it is a completely different place. Many of these small little storefronts become brothels, and there's really very basic little women, little children sitting out, selling themselves for customers. Many of the kids, the young women are lured here from the countryside. They're promised jobs in factories or in service industry. What they find here, of course, is something completely different. They find themselves literally enslaved and stuck in a life they can't get out of. Take a look.
Late night on a main street in Cambodia's capital city, Phnom Penh. This is an area known as Svay Pak, where these roadside stands belie a dirty secret. Svay Pak is devoted to the sex trade.
When I first went to Cambodia, there were virgins, 11-year-old virgins being openly sold in storefronts.
New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof has covered the seedy sex business in Cambodia for years. He says the tragedy is that so few of these workers have chosen their jobs. Instead, many are victims of trafficking, sex slaves, bought and sold on the black market, and many of them are so young.
Here in Cambodia's capital, the UN estimates there are between 10 and 20,000 people working as prostitutes. It's a remarkable figure when you consider there are only about 1 million people actually living in Phnom Penh. What's even more stunning, according to a UN report, at least 25% of Cambodia's prostitutes are children.
In fact, the UNICEF study found 15% of Phnom Penh's prostitutes are between 9 and 15 years old. Many are taken from China or Vietnam, robbed of their childhoods, held prisoner by brothel owners out to make a buck.
There was one recent girl who'd been to the brothel, and the brothel owner locked up this girl, sold her virginity, beat her when she resisted, and she rips off, she cheats all these girls. They're ATMs for the brothel.
And their lives are miserable. A study by the group Violence Against Women and Children in Cambodia found that 54% say poverty drove them to this life. 79% can't write. 50% can't read. 95% say they work 7 days a week. More than 70% say they've been gang raped, and all say they have to pay protection money to police.
One of the traditions which makes it hardest to stop is this notion that if somebody has AIDS and if they sleep with a virgin girl, then they are going to cure themselves of AIDS.
Despite the blinding poverty and rampant corruption, there have been some steps taken to clean up the sex trade in Cambodia. And the U.S. government is trying to help, applying diplomatic pressure and placing the country at the low end of a watch list, measuring what different nations are doing to stop sex trafficking. But there is a long way to go.
There have been, some improvements at the margins, but ultimately the story is still one of a modern form of slavery.
Yes, it's that way tragically because of supply and demand. Supply from the countryside, demand literally from all over the place.